Before the ReCyclery was running the programs that it's running, there was not a consistent source of curriculum for kids in schools learning about walking and biking safely. So beyond a parent saying, look both ways before you cross the road, a lot of younger people weren't learning about hand signaling and how to cross the street properly beyond just looking both ways. We teach kids to stop, look, and listen. And so just to be more aware.
The first 4 sessions focus on general walking and biking safety ideas and concepts with a number of games that go along with it. And the last 4 sessions are really kids on bikes. We have a trailer with 30 bikes and lots of helmets, and we get them out there for their PE class. We get them out there and teach them how do you bike safely.
We had a kid last year or actually at the beginning of this year, the school year, who hadn't learned to ride a bike until the program. So it was pretty exciting for everyone to...
And his PE teacher said that was the highlight of the school year for him, to watch this kid who got a round of applause from his peers when he learned how to bike.
Hi, welcome to Peak Moment. I'm Janaea Donaldson. I'm in Port Townsend, Washington, revisiting a place we videoed in 2010. At that time, that was the PT ReCyclery, and I'm with the founder, Chauncey Tudhope Locklear, right? And I'm with someone new this time. I'm with Case Koff, who, a lot has happened since then, so what she introduces. You are now the Chief Biking Officer, and you are the President of the Board of the Jefferson ReCyclery?
Jefferson County ReCyclery. Yes.
Which tells us, in a nutshell, we aren't in Kansas anymore.
That's a good way of describing it.
What has happened since we started?
Well, I'd say the ReCyclery has gone through the transition from grassroots to legitimate nonprofit status.
But you were just a business, starting business.
We were just starting business, running programs through umbrellas and just doing it. And now it's really a whole organization with board members and staff, and we have a budget now, and so it's come quite a long ways.
When we start, just remind us of the seeds of what we saw in your beginnings.
Yeah.
You had bike repair. Mm-hmm. You had parts. You were selling.
We sold bikes. We ran a few programs, and we were just much smaller. But now it's on a much grander scale, and
Tell us,
And it was mostly Chauncey and his brother Dash.
That's true. It was. I mean, with a few volunteers, right?
Yeah.
And then something changed to expanding this. And I think that's probably where you came in, Case. Yeah.
Yes, I had mentioned to them a couple of years earlier that that this was the perfect kind of program to really be supported by the community, and that when they were ready and wanted to do that, I'd be available to help set up a nonprofit organization so that we could really get community support. And so 2 years ago, we just celebrated our second birthday.
Yep.
We formed a nonprofit, and that opened an amazing number of doors and opportunities for us.
Tell us about those. Because if it's expanded, let's start with what we're watching behind us, so people know what they're seeing. What's this?
So this is a community shop day where people can come and as members they can work on their own bike. We also have youth here who are doing our Earn a Bike program.
Earn a Bike?
Yeah, so Earn a Bike is where typically youth come and volunteer for 25 hours, and then they can build a bike from scratch and take it home.
And what are they building it from?
Spare parts that we have, and if they have any parts, they can bring them in and build a bike.
Yeah, you have a pretty impressive boneyard full of bikes out there. I can just see somebody just parts.
There you go.
So, Earn a Bike.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And because we're a nonprofit, and because we have this program that Chauncey runs out in the schools and working with young people. The city has allowed us to use this corner of property that they lease from the school district free of rent in order to provide this community service. And that would not have been possible if we were not a nonprofit entity.
For sure.
Yeah, and I mean the thing that I just highly recommend for people putting lots of work and effort into grassroots activities that are trying to gain inertia is really kind of taking that next step to making it a legal organization, because it's the context where donors and the community really understand and can get involved. So it gives more people permission to get involved and donate and see things, working with governments, getting contracts. That's not possible if you're just running something out of your backyard or trying to run it as a private business.
I would say, or even a for-profit business, because we all expect in this culture, if you're going to do that, that's your private gain.
Yeah, you're out for yourself.
Right. And what I hear you saying is you're bringing on board your community. Yeah. How else have you seen that happening?
Well, one of the best examples is a program that we launched a year ago. We received a contract from the county in order to work outside of Port Townsend in Chimacum. And
it's another town, right?
Nearby, yeah.
It's not an incorporated town, but it's 10 miles out of town. And the Chimacum School District, the county had received a Safe Routes to School grant in order to improve the crossing right in front of the school, and a 2.5-year contract option came open to teach students in middle school how to walk and bike safely to school. And so we just finished the first year of that contract, and we decided to launch a countywide effort called Step On, a campaign to promote biking and walking, especially to school. And we have over a dozen partners in the community who have joined us in this effort. So it's truly a community-wide effort.
That's exciting. I mean, it's part of your vision. Well, being part of every school in some way. Or tell me what you.
I mean, before the ReCyclery was running the programs that it's running, there was not a consistent source of curriculum for kids in schools learning about walking and biking safely. So beyond a parent saying, look both ways before you cross the road, a lot of younger people weren't learning about hand signaling and how to cross the street properly beyond just looking both ways. We teach kids to stop, look, and listen. And so just to be more aware.
And which side of the road to be on.
Yeah.
I mean, I have that. We watch that.
Walking and biking is different. You bike with traffic, you walk against traffic. And people, that's not something that's really intuitive.
Yeah.
Nor is it part of our normal culture anymore. I mean, I remember you have to learn it in this car culture. Those things.
And so this 8-session curriculum that we're running both in the middle schools here in Port Townsend and in Chimacum, the first 4 sessions focus on general walking and biking safety ideas and concepts with a number of games that go along with it. And the last 4 sessions are really kids on bikes. We have a trailer with 30 bikes and lots of helmets, and we get them out there for their PE class. We get them out there and teach them how do you bike safely.
Wow. For some of those kids, is this the first time on a bike? I can imagine it might be for a few.
We had a kid last year or actually at the beginning of this year, the school year, who hadn't learned to ride a bike until the program. So it was pretty exciting for everyone to.
And his PE teacher said that was the highlight of the school year for him, to watch this kid who got a round of applause from his peers when he learned how to ride.
It makes you feel good, right? It's like partly he's now among one of the kids, and he's surmounted some obstacle for himself. But I can imagine that would be very exciting to be with the other kids outside on your bikes. Were they on the streets? I mean, having to do that, or just going?
There's actually a main, a throughway that goes in front of the school, and so we actually took these kids out and learned how to merge into the school parking lot. So,
It gets a little scary every once in a while, but so far so good. But the other thing is that Chauncey and one of our employees, Alina, they started a mountain bike team in the middle school because, again, we don't want them to just bike in PE. We want them to take it out and have it be part of their lives and get their families involved. So that's really a fabulous program.
So tell us about that. What's the program?
We have about 20 kids who are in 2 bike teams, and
Alina is around here somewhere. We'll meet her.
and they're in grades 4th through 8th grade, and twice a week they come together and for 2 hours go on a bike ride around Port Townsend, and it's been really incredible in how it's charged kids to just get even more excited about bikes because it's cool and it's fast and it's
And they're in control.
Yeah.
And they're running their vehicle. Yeah.
I mean, the mission statement for the ReCyclery is that we want to promote bicycle use for a healthier and more sustainable community. And we think a great way to do that is to start with the kids so it becomes a lifestyle of biking that gets their parents involved, that gets everybody biking more, so it's changing the bike culture, not only in the school, but in the community.
Seems to me that's really, there's a lot of wisdom in that. That if you get kids engaged, whether it's healthy food or being on bikes as the way to get around, and it's cool, even better, you really, it seems to me they'd be fabulous change agents for the whole culture.
Yeah, and really what we're looking at right now is kind of a forgotten generation where it's up to the younger people to create the status quo of valuing the environment and doing behaviors that are going to benefit the planet and not take away.
Does that come into your messages in some way?
It's it's subtle. It's not something that you
don't bang it on their head.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's more of a subconscious thing.
But if you ask them, what are the benefits of biking?
Oh, they will tell you.
They will tell you.
Yeah.
They will tell you that it's not only good for them personally and physically, but that it's good for the planet.
Yeah.
And so the message is there.
Yeah.
It's there.
That's heartening to me.
Yeah.
It's really heartening. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was going to say that what's incredible about the bicycle, unlike anything else, is that if I go and I watch like an environmental film, and I get really inspired and excited, what is the tool that I have to take that inspiration and then enact it?
Yes.
For most people, if I live 30 miles from my grocery store, it's going to be really hard to go home from that film and look at my bike and go, yeah, I can do it, But with kids, they're getting it from so many different angles about what's going on right now in terms of global warming, that global climate change.
Yes, right.
And to give them a bike is to suddenly put it all together, and for them, it just makes so much sense, and it's hopefully a lifestyle habit that they'll.
It means they're not leaving it to somebody else to make those changes. They're not leaving it to the adults to make those changes.
Yeah.
It's tremendously empowering.
Yes.
And they will tell you that. They know
That's
that.
exciting. You must feel really, it must be very, very satisfying to you, Sherry, to be watching those changes.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a long road. It's an exciting and amazing climb.
Well, the title of when we did your show in 2010, when you were just starting college, it was a phrase you used: changing the world one bike rider at a time. And give me an off the envelope thing. How many lives do you think you've changed in only just 4 years, 5 years?
Well, we've had a couple of hundred students going through this curriculum just this school year. So I'd say at this point we're changing the world 10 bike riders at a time. I mean, really, it's
10 times.
10 times
At a time.
We get a class of 30 kids out there on their bikes. It's quite a sight.
And that's the thing, is that cycling as an indicator is something that's really, you can see it. More people on the road on their bikes. It's not as much of a psychological impact of the effort to benefit the environment and get the more people concerned about the environment. It's something that you can see. Those people are making a conscious effort to commute and pick up their groceries. So, yeah. And a part of our program in the county is actually, and here in Port Townsend, is actually we've done a census of kids walking and biking to school. So
you have some results.
So yeah, we haven't done the follow-up, but we're going to actually be able to say, look at right there, there's a 2% increase from the working.
Right now, fewer than 14% of middle school students in Port Townsend walk or bike to school. Out in the county, in Chimicum, it's less than 4%. So, and 50 years ago, it was half of the students who either walked or biked to school. And that's one of the reasons why we have a tremendous problem in this country with kids being overweight because of inactivity.
Not getting the sunshine,
That's
and
part
not
of what we
breathing,
change.
physical. Yeah.
I should also mention that a big part of what we do is try to keep any part of a bicycle that is usable out of the landfill.
Yeah.
A huge contribution to sustainability.
Yes.
Plus, that allows us to make bikes available to anybody who needs a bike. It's a social justice issue as well as an environmental issue to take these bikes and to try to use what we can to keep bikes on the road.
Yeah.
10, 20, 30, 40 years. Yeah. That's
Thank
really
you for that piece as well, because I see that the social justice part of what you do is you rent bikes, you make the Earn a Bike program. It's like making it affordable, easy. For all I know, you get grants, you give bikes away. I have no idea.
We do.
On occasion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for this Christmas, we were part of the Christmas bike giveaway with the local charity program that was providing Christmas presents. So it's so diverse in what we do and how we're able to give some bikes away, sell some bikes, have this program, that program. We're able to do all these different things.
Other programs I have heard of too that I want, and you know all of them, so I want to hear more of them. You know, we still have a few minutes here.
Yeah.
I knew that there were some bike sessions for women only, or other populations. So tell us.
Yeah, so we have a women's bike night, and during women's bike night, as you can imagine, it's kind of a women's only event. And a part of that is that cycling is overwhelmingly a male-dominated form of transportation as well as a sport. And so to have an environment where women are using tools and just simply teaching other women how to do things, it's a more welcoming environment for those kind of people. I'll also say with that is the ReCyclery overall is totally, completely open, and the way we teach things is not gender biased, but for people to feel more comfortable, it's good to know that it's a women's only.
And as a role model, one of our employees, Alina Abdi, she's our outreach and volunteer manager, and she's the coach for the middle school bike team. She's the
great.
So we're demonstrating that this is not just a sport
That's really
for
good.
boys or men.
Yeah.
This is for everybody.
Yeah. Another program we have is our buy donation rental program, and so it's called the Borrow a Bike program.
Okay.
And what we realized is a lot of people hesitate to have their guests rent bikes because for a lot of people it's not affordable to pay $100 for 4 days or 5 days to borrow a bike. So we have a volunteer-maintained rental fleet, and you can come, get a lock, get a helmet, and ride off for the next week and pay $25, $50, $100,
Sliding scale.
Sliding scale. Yeah.
Work to you.
Exactly.
That's really nice. I mean, that's part of the social justice thing again, in a different form. What I hear, right, I should ask you other programs and things that we haven't thought about. So you think about that.
Well,
What else?
Insurance programs.
Yeah, every summer we have 3 interns, youth interns, and in Port Townsend, especially with the child labor laws having become the last 10 years especially strict, it's hard for kids to, younger people to find jobs because there's extra paperwork, and it's just something in our culture that we've said, wait till you get out of college to get your first job. And with our internship, kids work for 2 months, 10 hours a week, and they get a stipend, and they have to show up on time, they get a paycheck, it's not an actual paycheck, but it's like a paycheck. So yeah, it's a really great program where they're learning to be bike mechanics.
And they're learning general job skills.
I was going to say
How do you show up? How do you work with others? I mean,
Yes, being responsible, being on time, all those habits are needed to work with musicians.
And then we're always running, we had our first birthday party, so we're open to birthday parties. And
You mean happy birthday to you guys, right?
well, no, I actually meant a kid's birthday party.
Yeah?
So, you know, if a kid loves bikes and he's having a birthday party, we can run, you know, a 2-hour fun, ride bikes, bike games, all kinds of stuff.
Well, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it either, but yeah.
That's gobsmacking. It's like a biking birthday party.
Yeah. We need to get more examples of that, like where you have a birthday and you have a go up and clean the trash, or you know, I don't know.
And the birthday cake is hidden there behind the trash.
There you go.
It's like, you know, and you bike there. You
Yeah.
get there. The bike trailers. Well, what happened? I mean, we covered a lot of ground. You have covered a lot of ground. Well, of course, we're doing biking, and you can cover more ground than if we're just walking. What else are you envisioning? What else other opportunities that are for things we haven't covered are sort of beckoning to you? Got other visions to come?
Well, I was just going to say, as a follow-up to our last video, how I just want to encourage everyone out there to really consider taking their grassroots work to the next level. And I just want to thank PACE publicly for always encouraging us to become a nonprofit and take that next step, because the potential to take something that's really small scale, that's benefiting the community, and make it a bigger opportunity and make it have a bigger impact. Really, you've got to, consider becoming a legal entity that represents that.
And one of our goals during the next 2 years, or next year and a half, which is how long this Step On It campaign is funded at this point, is to really get this kind of programming firmly embedded in the school, so that it's not dependent upon us, but so that it becomes part of the school culture for a plan that promotes wellness in students, which includes biking, an official, statewide, certified, developed, provenly effective program for safe walking and biking as part of their PE. Physical education that kids learn in school should be something that they can carry throughout their lives. And bicycling is one of those things that will benefit so many people for so many years if they can get started early.
Yeah. There's been a lot of conversation recently in kind of the youth health world around kids that do team sports in school or in PE class are less likely to carry those same activities into their adult life. So playing football on your own in your backyard isn't really the same whereas cycling and walking, those sort of activities, that's something that you can teach to kids that they're going to then take with them until they're 30, 40, 50, 60 years old.
And I would add, even some solo activities like pole vaulters are not going to. They can do it in their backyard, but biking has multiple facets. It's got fun and exercise and health and outdoors, and it's also got transportation, and it's also it's affordable, unlike an automobile. I mean, it has so much going for it. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 minute left. 2 minutes, 1 minute each. Now your last thoughts. Come on, ladies.
Well, it really is very gratifying to work with young people who get so enthusiastic about something. I mean, you just see them light up, and that gives me great hope for the future, that these kids will carry these thoughts, these ideas, and the idea of personal health and community sustainability, that they'll carry that forward. I mean, that's what the next generation really, we're going to be depending upon them tremendously in order to carry that forward. So it gives me great hope.
And I was just going to say, for everyone out there who has a dream to do something that's going to benefit their community, don't sit on it. Breathe life into it. dream more into your dreams and take the plunge and look at it as an opportunity to better the world and better yourself. So, yeah.
And what I see here is that you took your dream and you ran with it, and doors opened, relationships opened with Taste to form a structure, a nonprofit structure that works for you, which opens more doors and more, and your influence is going, one biker at a time to 10. I expect next time we see you, 100. That ripple effect from what you started, for people following your dreams and seeing where it takes them. I would say you're proud of this too.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, is that like it only takes one person to start a riot. It only takes one person to start something that has far-reaching influence, and beyond that one moment in the beginning, it's the entire community. And the ReCyclery is all of our volunteers, all of our board members working together. There is no hierarchical, owner or anything like that. It's everyone in for it. So.
Great. Okay, we'll be back when it's the hard times.
Good.
You're watching Peak Moment. I'm Janaea Donaldson. My guests are Jefferson County ReCyclery, Chauncey Hayes, making a difference, inspiring youth. Join us next time.